Welcome everyone to back to another episode of Muggle with a Mic. Katie here with my good pal
Phil.
Yay. Phil of the future. Look at your futuristic room you're in.
It is very futuristic. This is my 80s arcade I've been working on all summer. So it's very nice.
That's only the tip of the iceberg.
This is next time we do a podcast, I'll switch angles so you can see the other end of the room. But yeah.
Well, and
I needed some place to store all my arcade cabinets.
To our podcast listeners and YouTube viewers, you can play a game by trying to hear all the different gaming consoles and trying to guess what games Phil has just off the sounds they make.
Yeah. I got quite a few of them turned down because some of them talk constantly, like Dragon's Lair. It's like it has a whole monologue it goes through and just repeats like when you're not playing it. So.
Okay, so we're going to be talking one of Phil's favorite movie sagas? Franchises. There you go. The Alien franchise, a.k.a. specifically this one, we're going to talk about Romulus, the new movie that just came out. But before we get into all that, let's do our mugs.
Well, now this is an oldie but a goodie. Yeah. I know it's been somewhere on one of the podcasts, but it's the Stromo mug.
You got to.
Looks like, and then on the inside there's there's a angry chest burster that peeks out at you through your coffee.
So wait, let me see it closer because last time you did this, I had not seen Alien before watching this. It's like the panels. No, I want to see the side of the cup.
Oh, I was gonna say there's alien blood in it. Okay, it's just like.
It's like the panels of the ship.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
Which just trivia. Like when you, I know you'd never seen Alien before, but I made you watch it. I made you watch the first two because Romulus takes place in between the movies.
Did not realize that.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get into that. We haven't really talked about it.
That changes some of my perspective.
I sent you a message the other day and said, "Did you watch Alien?" And asked a few little quick questions, and then I sent you another. Did you watch Aliens?
Yeah.
And then so we haven't discussed, but like some.
Wait, so now that I'm thinking of it, I have questions now. You just blew my mind, but go ahead, continue. Fun facts. The alien got Phil. We've lost Phil. I'm all alone. There's no one here beside me. There's Phil. I can't hear you, bud. Do we have any waiting music? How about Doctor's Lounge?
Where were we?
We were at you were giving us a fun fact and you blew my mind about the timeline. I didn't realize the timeline difference. Yeah.
So the timeline, Romulus takes place 20 years after the original Alien. Mm-hmm. So that's, 24 years before Ripley gets awakened. Like they find her in her...
because she was in there for 57 years, right?
So I guess it'd be like 27 years before they find her.
Okay.
But yep. That's why I wanted you to watch the first two.
I know, but I guess I was thinking this was after Aliens.
Nah.
Fun fact.
So we had you watch Alien.
Oh, wait, here's my mug. Here's my mug real quick.
Oh, yeah.
It's from my mama. She got me a Paris 2024 mug. And fun fact,
was
Phil.
Was she in Paris?
No, she was not. No. Oui. Opposite of oui. What? No? Is it no in French?
Yeah.
No? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's a fun fact. She got you one too, Phil.
Did she really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I gotta get you your twin. You got
that's
the twin.
very, very thoughtful.
Yeah.
I can use it for the next
next episode. Yeah. Absolutely. So thank you, Mama.
Yes, thank you.
Shout out to Mama. Okay,
Shout out.
Shout out. Okay, how do you want to start? You start with the movie talk, Phil. It's your baby.
Oh, well, I was asking you. So I had you watch the first two movies, which in the Alien fandom, those two movies are usually like a toss up for which one's the best. of the franchise.
Yeah.
So, and they're usually pretty much universally loved. You know, one's haunted house in space, another one's more of an action centered. Now, as far as the other movies go that are in the franchise, it's either love them or hate them. It's like a split in the franchise, the fans. It's like you either like them or you don't like them. So, which I know you haven't seen any of the others.
Nope.
Okay. So,
and I'm curiosity might get me to watch them.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would enjoy watching them. Does that make sense?
No. Yeah.
Because they're good movies. Don't get me wrong. I understand why they got so big, why they're big cult classics and everything. But this genre is not my cup of tea because it gets me very anxious and scared.
Well, actually, the only reason Alien got made because that, I believe, like the script got floated around quite a bit, but Star Wars had came out in '77, 2 years before. Alien came out in '79, but after that, everybody was looking for like sci-fi scripts to put out there when they saw how much Star Wars made, and so that's kind of the only reason it got greenlit.
Well, and I can see some similarities in the art design of the ship and of the graphics of the computers and stuff. It did kind of have a Millennium Falcon feel to it, but different.
Yeah,
it didn't seem the same, but it looked. I don't know. It had similarities.
And when they built that set, it was all just like one kind of big ship interior. So it was like it was like actually like going through it. It wasn't just like a open set. Like
different sets puzzled together.
Yeah. No, it was just like one.
That's neat.
It was like the interior.
Yeah. I mean, that was probably fun for the actors to actually really immerse themselves in the character and the environment.
Yeah. And fun facts, you know, like Ridley Scott really told like Parker, the actor that played Parker, to kind of antagonize her a little bit because he wanted her to really not like him. I mean,
help me out. Which one's Parker? The captain?
Yeah. Kodo, the maintenance.
The maintenance guy. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Bretton Parker.
Okay, I gotcha.
So he got her to kind of antagonize her in real life, just so she'd have more of a reaction to him. And but anyway, so you watched Alien. What did you think? I mean, that's like classic movie and.
Oh well, okay. So I mean, you can't help but compare it to Aliens too, but it's like it's a little bit slower paced because it is a horror as opposed to an action adventure, whatever. But but you're being introduced for the first time, learning about the alien. So I found that interesting. You're also learning about the characters. Okay, help me out real quick. The robot's name was Ash in the first one.
Correct.
But then why was he called Rook in this new one?
Okay, well, I was kind of going to get into that. So
okay, we can do it later if you want.
Well, no, I mean, it's the same model. It's not the same robot.
That's what I was thinking.
So it just has a different name.
He looks the same, but he's a different.
Yeah, it's a same. You know, hey, I'm a Commodore. You know, it's a same model, just a different.
Okay.
A different one.
Okay, that's actually, what I was thinking.
Another interesting fact, which it kind of broke it with this movie, is like in all the movies, almost all the movies, there's an android. Mm-hmm. And they go in alphabetical order. So the first movie it was Ash. Second movie it was Bishop.
Yeah.
Alien Resurrection it was Call. And then Prometheus it was David. So they go alphabetical order, but then they kind of went back to Andy on Romulus. So
maybe that's trying to tell us something.
Yeah, you haven't. Of course, you haven't seen any other but those two, so you wouldn't have known that. But
well, and this one technically came after Ash and before Bishop.
Well, yeah.
Maybe it's the year they come out. They start with A's and then
maybe
I don't know. But no. So the first one, I mean, I was good. Again, I get scared very easily. The movie Signs freaked me out as a child. I couldn't sleep for months. Yeah. So it's not my genre, but I did enjoy it. I was intrigued by it. I gotta tell you, I hate spiders. So the fact that the first form is like a spider to your face is traumatic for me. But that's the sign of a good movie is when you have a real reaction to things. So, I mean, I was scared multiple times. I didn't feel like I was watching a movie from 79? 79. So I think that's the sign of a good quality movie when you don't feel like you're watching an old movie. You feel like you're watching a movie that came out this year or something like that. So I enjoyed it. Here's my biggest pet peeve. My biggest pet peeve, Phil. Can you guess what it is?
They didn't listen to correctly the whole movie.
Oh, yeah. No, but you know what? That annoyed me the whole time, but that was the whole thing, was like no one was listening to this smart, intelligent woman. Right. They needed to just listen to her, and she's the only one who survived. So I actually, yes, it annoyed me, but I loved it. And I love that she just stuck to her. She was like, okay, fine, go ahead, do the stupid thing, and you'll get killed. That's fine. I'm just gonna survive, and you all can just perish. But no,
Lambert even came up and slapped her. It's like,
I mean, I like the concept.
Hey Ripley, what did the 5 fingers say to the face? Slap.
I mean, that's good characters too. Also, that other than Parker, I didn't realize Parker was his name, but you say the mechanic and then I remember who they are. Yeah. But they were all distinct characters. There were no two alike, and they all each added to the story plot. And you were sad, but you were also upset and kind of like, dude, you deserve to die. You're not listening to her. And anyway, but no, my main pet peeve, Phil, is why did we need the underwear scene at the end of the film?
I mean, it was the 70s.
I know, but they did it again in the 86 one. It wasn't as bad, but they still had a scene like that.
I think that they did it just kind of to show how vulnerable. I mean, like you think it's gone, she's like changing, and then all of a sudden you're caught. No weapons, no anything. I mean, I don't know.
Literally with your pants down.
I mean, you're right. That's kind of, It's kind of, doesn't really add anything to the story.
That's my only pet peeve.
But you're right. But, I mean, you kind of, I think it, like I said, kind of lowered tension because you think, oh, okay, well, everything's safe.
That's true. I just think, boxer briefs could have worked as well.
Yeah, true.
Because if I even told my mom this... Your mom's getting mentioned during the episode again. She said, astronauts would have long johns on just to make it realistic. But I mean, that is a good point, that it does make her appear vulnerable and comfortable. Like she thinks she's safe. And but
the thing is with that, I mean, but asteroids, they're kind of like truckers in space in this. It's like, not so much, I guess, astronauts, but it's, space travel's everyday average.
More comfortable with it, yeah.
I mean, like I said, the tag for it was kind of like, oh, they're just like truckers in space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. They're like they're like Han Solo, getting a freighter and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. They're just, doing their job. I get you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
yeah, you're right. I mean, it was like really not necessary.
Thank you for supporting me in that, because I just was like, I was watching, I was like, really, dude? And I thought a little less of Ridley Scott for that, but
yeah,
but it was the 70s.
One of the things too, like if you'll notice, like she starts singing a song in that, like at the end. Mm-hmm. Did you notice when she's putting on this? Do you know like what?
Yeah, what was that?
Lucky Star. It was from Singing in the Rain.
Okay.
Oh, come on. You are my star. You.
unscripted, but then when they did it, then they had to pay royalties for that song.
But help me out, and why was she singing that in that moment? What was the point of that?
I think it was just kind of calm herself.
Okay.
I think in real life that's a song that her maybe mom had sung to her.
Oh, in
but
real
if you'll
life?
Notice, I think so. I'm not 100% on that.
Well, that's nice.
Or maybe she sang it to, well, I don't know. I seem to think that...
Here, let me look it up. I'll see if I can find it.
I don't know. But if you'll notice in the Alien Romulus, one of the trailers has that song. They play that song in the trailer.
Oh, okay. Hey, I have the trailer up. I was going to watch it with you to kind of refresh our minds on it.
There's a bunch of different ones, but there's one where that's a very prominent part of the trailer.
Alien, Sigourney Weaver's character, blah, blah, blah. The song is presumed to be a comforting childhood favorite and the use of diegetic music or music that comes from within the scene helps illustrate Ripley's need for comfort and her determination to overcome fear. Ripley's voice shakes as she sings, which humanizes her and increases the tension. In one scene, Ripley is wearing a spacesuit and mutters the lyrics to herself while trying to blast a xenomorph into space. But it doesn't explain exactly why they chose that song. Using the song tethers the character to her past. We lost Phil again, but I'm going to keep saying this. Despite Alvarez's decision to make an interquel set 20 years after Alien, this draws on something prequels Prometheus and Covenant did well. So we're going to wait for Phil. We lost him again. And there's the fact that Ripley is singing a love song from a movie about two star-crossed lovers who only get together at the film's climax. You Are My Lucky Star is the final number in Singing in the Rain, just like it's the final song in Alien. There's a bizarre kind of courtship, too, if you consider Ripley trying to coax out the creature as a dance of attraction, which it is, in literal terms. Sorry, everyone, we had glitches. We're back now. I added some sounds to my soundboard. First of all, we already knew I had this one. Tell me if you can hear it.
Great Scott!
Yeah.
Did you hear that? Okay. This is the one that we're going to use because this is the one that we had on an episode and we kept using it. So I thought we could use it some more. Get ready. Surprise, surprise. It'll just, whenever we're surprised, I'm going to hit it. And then we've got one that we're adding for this movie that we'll always have. Which one do you think it is? Well, not this movie, but the franchise.
I don't know.
Game over, man. Game over.
Oh, I gotcha. Very famous line. You weren't aware.
His little voice cracks. Listen to it.
Game over, man. Game over.
Yeah. Won't you put her in charge?
He was such a whiny little thing.
Yeah. He was one of the best parts about the movie, though.
Mm-hmm.
So another little fun fact. Like inside of the derelict ship, when they're in the egg chamber, that laser on the floor.
The blue one? Yeah. On the new one you're talking about?
No. Which I don't quite understand why that was in there, but
yeah.
But in the egg chamber they went down, he's like, oh, there's a mist.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then there's like a blue light. The Who was storing their sound equipment in that studio next door, and they use their stage lights, laser lights for that.
How strange.
Yeah.
Fun. You're just full of Phil fun facts today.
I am. What can I say?
It's your favorite movie.
So did it surprise you, that scene where they were eating dinner before they went back to hypersleep?
Oh, you mean the
yeah.
Hold on. This scene.
The chest burst, yeah.
Yeah. No, I knew it was going to happen because it's an iconic scene. It's like not knowing that Vader's Luke's father.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to happen. I just didn't understand like where it came from. That it came from the spider face, and then
laid an egg.
Mm-hmm. So and then incubated, and you're its host, and then you die when. Yeah. So
kind of like one of those wasp larvas in real life that.
Well,
is it a wasp that lays eggs and then they eat you from the inside out? Now, I was telling you before that when they did that, they didn't really rehearse it. They just they did it on the first take. Actors didn't really know what to expect or what was going on, and that's their actual reaction, especially like Lambert.
I need to rewatch that.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can bring.
Get the right one. Don't get the hello, my honey, hello, my baby, hello, my ragtime. Yeah.
Dr. Weedy told me about that.
Spaceballs.
Yeah.
Oh, God. He was going, surprise, surprise.
No, don't touch it. Don't touch it.
All right. Oh.
It's interesting to see, the whole dynamic too after you watch it and you realize that Ash was sitting back protecting it the whole time,
yeah.
Oh, don't hurt it, and he let it in.
Yeah.
And if you can just watch him sit back and kind of like watch what's going on.
Kind of delay in actually doing something.
Like, yeah, when like everything's happening to Kane, he's kind of like just studying what's going on.
Downloading data.
Yeah, now in one of the scenes, like when they're in the spacesuits to make the spaceship look bigger when they're coming out, that's Ridley Scott's kids. They made smaller spacesuits, put his kids in it, so it made the landing gear and stuff look bigger on the model they had.
Interesting. See, it's all about perspective.
Yeah.
All right, why don't we watch the trailer real quick of the new one, and we'll get into talking about that because I have thoughts.
Okay, we haven't talked about aliens yet now.
Oh, Phil, but we're never going to get through it if we don't. Okay, let's talk about aliens real quick. Let's talk about aliens real quick. I think.
So well, wait a minute. Okay, so from 1 to 10, what would you rate Alien?
I mean, I'm going to be lower than the normal person because it's not my kind of genre.
Yeah.
7.
You give it a 7. Okay.
Yeah. What do you get? You give it a 10.
I'd give it a 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because it's something I grew up with. It's iconic. It's like one of my kind of go-to movies.
Yeah.
So.
And it's not a movie. I rate my ratings based on whether I would want to rewatch it or rewatch scenes. And for me, it's just not my genre. It's not that it's a bad movie or a bad story or anything like that. It's just it freaks me out.
Yeah. And it is a slow burn. It takes a while to.
Yeah. Especially Alien. Now, Aliens 2 is different.
Yeah.
Like, I think I would easily say Aliens 2 is better than Alien.
Yeah. That's probably more your style.
Uh-huh.
So what did you think about Aliens?
I thought it was interesting because you took it, the first one was we're captive on this ship with it. And now this one has attacked an entire colony. And now that you told me about this new timeline, it's new to me, but was that colony the one that we were on? No. Okay. No. It's a different one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cause I thought there were a lot more people on this Romulus colony than.
Yeah. But it's similar. It's like, a colony that the company owned that was doing terraforming or whatever, mining.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things when you were watching, I asked you if you had access to the director's cut.
No.
Which you don't, but it's about like 20 some minutes additional. And one of them you see like actually the colony before.
Oh.
They have a scene and it has like kids running around and stuff. And Fede Alvarez, the director, was like, well, I'd like to do a story that shows, what would happen if you were one of those kids? What would it be like growing up on that colony? And do a story about that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's for the director's cut. Now, James Cameron does prefer the director's cut of Aliens over the theatrical cut. But it's the opposite with Ridley Scott. They made him kind of do a director's cut to help sell like one of the DVD sets, and he's like, really, I prefer the theatrical release. That's what I made, and
that's how I
all the cut stuff kind of slows down the story. So, yeah, but it is. I find it the director's cut for Aliens is superior.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean it adds more detail, and it's almost like having a TV series rather than the movie with more detail. Yeah.
Now, you watched Stranger Things, of course, so
it looked like the upside down. Whenever you're walking through those walls.
Yeah, well, Paul Reiser, of course, he was the actor in the second one.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of now, if you go back and watch it, there's a lot of Aliens reference.
Interesting.
Because they have those soldiers coming in down in the underground. They're like, they have the radar and stuff. So I mean,
yeah.
So there's a lot of similarities to that season. A lot of Aliens references. Yeah. So
I'll get it now.
Yeah. Was it a surprise? Like, was Bishop a surprise? I mean, did you know what was going on when he did the knife trick?
No. I mean, yeah, because he was going extremely fast. I don't know why I didn't pick up on it then. But it was when he was sweating, or there was a little bead going down, and it was when they intended on you finding out. But no, I just thought he was maybe a trained soldier, but then he was doing scientific stuff, so I was a little confused. But that was interesting where she was apprehensive of liking him. And that's interesting because the droids are still bad in this Romulus one. Did they turn?
Well, not all. I mean, that particular model.
Well, no. Well, the droids that are controlled by the companies and stuff are. And
Andy wasn't.
But once they put that chip in, they had rebooted him. And
they did.
They changed him. But if it's owned by the company or made by the company, it's going to have that in its...
Well, he was made by the company. He just wasn't like... had those directives, and they plugged in that chip, and it had
because her dad reset him. They found him in the garbage, right? Because he wasn't doing what they wanted. But Bishop was a good droid.
Oh yeah.
So I feel like things had changed in those 20 some odd years to make. They probably got the 3 laws of robotics or something.
Yeah. Which, like I said. 3 and 4, Alien 3 and 4.
Not worth a watch?
Not really. I mean, I could go on about it, but I just won't. Those are the 2 that a lot of people consider there's only 2 Alien movies. It's those 2.
What about Alien versus Predator?
Not really. I mean, I like the first one, but it's still not a kind of a pure Alien movie. And then you have Prometheus and Alien Covenant, which were like prequels, which just, they look very pretty and they're well shot, but they really
substance.
kind of, in my opinion, a lot of other people. Now, some people really love them, but it's kind of takes stuff away whenever you go back and you do a prequel and you try to explain stuff, and it just
takes up too much time.
And they weren't that. They weren't that good at scripts, and I don't feel. And some people love them, and that's great. I mean, I still watch them occasionally just because they're like the music and special effects are good, but. The Alien Queen was introduced in Aliens.
Like bees? Like they're bees?
Well, the Alien Queen.
Oh, the big one. I liked how she aimed the flamethrower at the egg, and then she told the little, soldier to back off.
Yeah.
And then she Ridley backs up and still burns them.
Well, but did you see like the egg opened in front of her? And then she looked at the queen and tilted her head you broke our deal. And then she started.
True. That's true.
Because really, I mean, they were going to nuke the place, so she wasn't going to survive anyway. But I think she would have backed away.
Queen have any say in when the eggs open? The eggs do.
I mean, I mean, in a way, it's. I mean, a lot of people think it's a hive mind, and she telepathically kind of connected to all the drones and warriors and. True. Who knows?
Anyway,
if you go back and watch it,
let's watch a trailer real quick so that we can get into Romulus.
Okay, now this does have that song "Lucky Star"
in the trailer. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me.
There might be. Is this like a red trailer? There may be some Body words.
Oh yeah, everyone. There might be swear words in this. It's on YouTube. We're gonna play it as is. I might add in some beeps.
Bleeps, yeah.
In post, but for right now, it may just be aware. There might be some foul language.
Are you sure you want to do this?
Yeah,
There she is.
You want to break in and steal highly regulated equipment.
This could be our only ticket out of here. Should be in and out in 30 minutes.
Welcome to the Romulus space station.
This place gives me the creeps. What the hell is this?
I don't know.
The f was that? Yo!
Stop playing around, man. Just get up.
I'm not playing around. There's something in the water.
What do you mean there's something in the
No,
water?
there's just something in the water.
Run.
Are you alright?
You see, if you watch it, it seems like taking bites out of a rib.
That was interesting how they did the X-ray. The sound. Phil can't hear it. But the sound is like crunching.
That girl, I think she played Dora.
Whatever comes,
Are you
we'll face it
serious?
together.
Let's go.
That pregnant girl.
I think her name was Katie.
Impact event in 5, 4,
It's neat how they did the title like that.
2, 1.
Okay. So before we get into this, give a rating for Aliens, 1 to 10.
8.
Okay, I give it a 10.
I know. I think we saw that coming.
Now we're on equal footing, kind of, on this movie because this isn't something that I've seen years ago, and
Mm-hmm. Okay.
we both it's a new movie, it just came out. We both seen it once.
So here's the difference with this one and the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
Story-wise. Visually-wise, this is much more advanced than the previous two. So I don't think we need to compare the visuals of this movie to the previous ones.
I will make a comment.
Yeah.
With the visuals, it's funny because we're so in the habit of not going to the theater anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of watch everything at home on the TV, high def TV. So I get to the theater and I'm watching. It's like a beautiful movie. I mean, the special effects are great.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there watching. I'm just like, dang, I wonder when this comes out digitally so I can watch it on my high def TV and because there's certain things I couldn't quite make out or
Rewind
see what was going on. It's just well, I just wanted to be able to because obviously in bigger cities they have more high def theaters than we have. We just kind of have standard digital projection. We don't have the 4X or 4DX or whatever
fancy stuff.
So you're obviously you're going to lose some of that high definition when it's projected.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep thinking it's wow, I want to watch this on my high def screen at home where I can it's really crisp and it pops and I can make out smaller details and maybe pause it. So I mean, that's just.
No, I did. I think I did a phantom remote where I tried to rewind it 10 seconds to re-see what just happened, but I was like, oh, there's nothing there. I can't rewind it. But yeah, no, that is the thing, is it's a train that's not going to stop for you to see something else. So you have to be fully watching the movie, especially a movie like this.
It's just so expensive to go anymore. I mean, you're going to, two of you go and it costs $50.
Well, I tried to keep it simple this time. I went by myself. We were going to go together, but we had to go separately. But I went to a matinee, so it was a little cheaper.
Yeah.
And I got just one candy. I didn't get any popcorn, didn't get a drink, because I knew I would probably get too nervous and I'd pee my pants. So I didn't drink anything. I didn't have to go to the bathroom the whole time. So I just got a bunch of Crunch. That's all I had.
Okay. Oh yeah. Which, like I said, I think like snacks are more expensive.
$4.50 for a bunch of Crunch. Yeah. Yeah.
But this was my most anticipated movie of the summer, probably the year.
Were you happy with it?
I was, but there are certain aspects where I was disappointed.
Okay.
Like I probably would have rated where I had the other two a 10. This would have been maybe around a 7.5.
Interesting. And where did it lose the pointage?
Well, I thought it was a beautiful movie. There's a couple things. First of all, like I like the first part. I would love to see the first third of the movie just to be about that space station and what went on with.
Mm-hmm. Why is it there? What happened?
Yeah, what happened? I thought that was by far more interesting. I would like to actually see more kind of the big chap.
Probably going to do another film.
The original Alien, because you just got to see a brief kind of glimpse, and he's inside that asteroid. And you cut open. I couldn't really see in my theater. Like I've seen the toy, and it shows like a fossilized alien in the asteroid, but I couldn't really make it out on the screen.
Yeah,
that's one of the things I wanted to see. But then they showed him kind of hanging up there and with a harpoon through him, and like when they find Ripley at the beginning of Aliens.
Yes.
Yeah. So when they're cutting the door open to get into her escape pod.
Yes.
If you look while they're cutting the door open, the harpoon gun's still jammed in the.
Help me out. Why was the harpoon gun there?
Remember, she shot the alien and then it flew out the door and it came out of her hands and got jammed in the
door. Okay. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you.
Small details.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so go back and just watch the beginning and you can see the harpoon gun. But anyway, so I really liked that they revisited the character of Ash, and I know it's a different model, different name, but it's still kind of the.
I know what you're going to say.
Consciousness.
I know what you're going to say.
You got to see Ash without his mask on. I mean, you got to see what he was kind of like. Now that is a point of contention among a lot of fans because they don't think, well, Ian Holm passed away, and they don't want you to bring him back digitally or whatever, but. Fede Alvarez, the director, that's the first thing he did is contact the widow. And she was all for. She was like, "That's great." She felt like the last couple of years Hollywood kind of didn't treat him so well, and she thought he would have loved to be a part of that project, and she gave the green light.
Oh, good.
So, and I kind of like that. A lot of people say that was the worst special effect was.
I'm going to say that when you first see him, I thought it looked terrible. Okay. And I think it was the lighting and the ratio of his mouth and chin to the rest of his face didn't seem proportional. But later in the film, when the lighting was different, it looked better.
Yeah. But I liked revisiting Ash.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I think the way they did that, I think they used a animatronic. And then they just deep faked over it. So it wasn't a real person. They didn't use AI or anything. They even had a voice actor doing it. So it wasn't an AI voice. They said they didn't use any AI. It was just,
Interesting.
But that's a big sticking point with a lot of people. But
yeah, I hated it at really first. I liked that they did it. I didn't like how they did it. I think that if they were able later on down in the movie to make it look better, well, then why didn't it look better at the beginning? That's what the consistency of the quality of it I didn't like.
Some of the other things that took points off for me was, okay, so first of all, It's like, where did they get that ship?
Oh,
and
yeah.
How were they allowed just to take off from the colony? Was that a company ship? Because
Right.
if they had a ship, why didn't they just leave?
Yes. Well, they needed the power of the cryo things to.
Yeah, but I mean, they could have been out exploring or just gone someplace else at first looking for that. I mean,
Yeah.
they didn't really explain like
They didn't get permission to go there, and why didn't someone come and
yeah.
check on them because they were there?
Yeah.
It didn't make sense.
Okay. Another thing, I just like all my story points to line up and make sense. So you have this space station. It's just right there. They just fly above the atmosphere and it's there. It's like, well, why didn't anybody else see that? Is that something where someone was saying, oh, well, the company was so far away, it was going to take, 6 months and all this had just taken place. I hadn't been abandoned or derelict very long. That tragedy just happened and it kind of drifted there. But that didn't really make sense, because if that was, if what the experiments they were doing and the discoveries they made were so important, why would they just abandon it? Why wouldn't they have a security detail come in, or even people from the mine? Why wouldn't they alert
tracking it?
The people on the ground? So I think it would have made a little bit more sense if it wasn't just right hovering above. But I know they needed it as a plot point because it was like the orbit was deteriorating and it was going to fall into the atmosphere and burn up.
Yeah, but somebody knew that cargo was on there. So somebody from the company, I would think, would come and check in on it. Yeah, that didn't add up.
Okay. So another thing that kind of just... it's always been a little bit ambiguous on how long it takes for... the alien to mature, the chest burst, or that whole process. Like in the first Alien, it was a day or two. That's cool. With this, it was like literally 10 minutes.
Yeah,
from the time she had a chest burster till it became a full adult and made a cocoon and everything. Because there was a freaking countdown. Like as soon as she was giving birth to that chest burster, she hit the controls, and it knocked the space station out of orbit, and it's like, you have 40 minutes. Yeah. So there's literally like 10 minutes from the time that thing came out till it built a cocoon and came out as an adult. And to me, it's just like that accelerated quickly. I mean, I don't know. Think, like you get movies like that where it's like they have a countdown, right? I mean, they could have written a movie where they'd spend a day exploring on the on the space station. They didn't have to go in full blown. Oh, you got 40 minutes from now to the end of the movie.
The whole movie took place almost in real time.
Yeah.
Because they said like the trailer said, we'll be in and out in 30 minutes. Yeah.
And they literally had like a day and a half.
Yeah.
Until that accelerated. Now I will say, you can explain that away as, they were doing experiments and they backward engineered the alien and they had that accelerant, and that's what caused it to grow faster. But to me, that was just like way too quick.
No, if they grew that fast, then the aliens would already have taken over the galaxy. If they actually grew that fast.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to say is, this is the first movie. I don't know if you felt this way. This is the first movie when I realized who the cast was. I felt old. They all seemed extremely young. Like, these look like teenagers to me. Yeah.
Which that was part of the plot. Like I said, with the director's cut, he wanted to explore what would happen if there was a bunch of kids that grew up on one of these shake and bake colonies. And you can see they were doing them dirty because they're like, oh, my contract's up. It's like, nah, well, we have a shortage, so we're extending it 5 more years. You don't have a say in it.
Okay, yeah.
They were never going to let them go. I mean, so as a young person, you don't want to spend your whole life like on some mining colony, just,
Yeah. Okay. You helped me with that one. I was like, are these people supposed to be the same age as Ripley in the first one?
Nah, because Ripley had a kid, and I mean, I think she was probably in her
30s,
like 20s,
20s or 30s, yeah.
Where these guys were probably like 18.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
Now, I will say too that I really wish. Now, I know you haven't seen all the movies, but I think it struggled to be its own entity. I love Easter eggs and I like throwbacks to other movies, but I mean, there was at least 3 times they had direct quotes from other movies, which, I mean, maybe once is okay, but I was just kind of rolling my eyes when Android was like, "Get away from her."
Yeah.
You had that line, and that hadn't even been said yet. That's
true.
Next movie. And then there's one where it's like, and I mean, it's kind of fun in Star Wars when it's like, I got a bad feeling about this. That's kind of a the script just saying that they use in every.
Somebody could say it,
yeah. And it's like, when Ash was like, "I won't lie to you, the odds," that was a direct quote. And then I prefer the term artificial.
Yeah, right.
Or that was like a Bishop line, which that's I guess excusable because that could have been a program thing.
In him already.
But like the whole ending.
Well, they even had the little chicken thing in the very first. In the very first scene.
That's kind of a reoccurring. Thing. They usually have those in most of the movies.
So you're saying there's too much? That there was too much copying?
There was even scenes, like I know you haven't seen Alien Resurrection, but almost the whole ending is just a copy of Alien Resurrection's ending.
This one was?
Yeah.
Okay, so help me out. Okay, we're going to get into it. The pregnancy thing. That happened in another movie?
Ish.
Okay, because I was stunned by that and kind of disgusted.
Yeah. And then you had, like, they used, like, the black goo, which was in Prometheus, which, like, bless his heart, Ridley Scott did those 2 prequels. He worked that black goo in there. Most of the people I know don't really like it because it did everything. And then they're bringing it back and trying to shove it in this movie. It's like, no, don't do that.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. It was like... Phil, I'm not meaning to insult your franchise, but I feel like it's a story of people making really stupid decisions. Yeah. And the fact that mother would inject herself with that and risk her child, I don't think anyone would ever do that. You dum-dum, something's going to go bad if you inject that in yourself with that. And then all that happens. And I just thought it was way far-fetched.
Yeah, well, I can kind of see where she's coming from because she thought she was going to die and she wanted to save her baby. So she's like, heard him talk and it's like, hey, this could save your life. And maybe she just thought she wasn't going to make it. So
FDA
she did it.
Has not approved that.
And then, like, you'll have stuff like, okay, they get to the bottom and then of the spaceship. I mean, that was cool with anti-gravity. They kind of set that up.
That was neat. That was super neat with the blood and everything. Yeah.
But they get into the part where there's a hive, and it's just almost like a throwaway. It's just like, oh, okay, hive. I mean, it's like, when they showed Aliens, it was like, oh my gosh, look at,
monumental.
So and here they're just like, oh, well, there's a hive and there's aliens coming at us. I mean, it was kind of like, eh. And I'm going to go see it again because there's certain things that I didn't catch. Like, what happened to Andy where he was just... They were in the hive, they were waiting for the elevator, and all of a sudden he's just on the floor kind of convulsing. I didn't see what happened. She went back and saved him.
Remember, he has, like, glitches, and she has to reset him? I'm wondering if that had to do with one of the glitches. Because it happened a lot when he would panic. It was almost like robotic panic attacks.
Yeah, but I don't think he had any of those glitches after he upgraded his...
But I think that's the thing is the real Andy was coming through.
Okay.
Trying to fight the programming.
Like I said, I do want to watch it again. But even like they even had stuff from like Alien Isolation, the video game, which that's everybody's kind of favorite Alien video game. But in the game, there's little emergency phones and there's save spots. And you're very vulnerable when you're using them because it takes a while to save the game. And you'd always see them whenever, like...
That's how the finger things are.
It was about... Huh?
Is that how the finger keypad thing was used in this one?
No. They were actually... It said emergency and there was like a phone.
Okay. I got it.
But they're in the background, if you'll notice. And in the game, like whenever it was about ready to... Everything was going to fall apart, there'd be one. And the same thing, he said, like, every time there's a scene where stuff is going to go down, you'll see one of those in the background, like kind of the little emergency telephone.
Kind of a hint, something's going to happen.
Yeah. I thought that was cool. But like I said, when you're getting into, you're just copy and pasting the other movies where you have...
I'm with you there.
It doesn't make any sense, like, with the lines, especially with Andy, because he never cursed. You know, he's just real meek, and he's just like, get away from her, and then, like... Now, I could have seen that make more sense if when those people at the beginning were taunting him, if they would have called him that or something.
I feel like when they're doing that, they're just pandering to the audience, trying to so that someone will say, "Oh, look, they said that line," but it doesn't make any sense if you think about it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like I said, pandering to the audience, which I mean, I do kind of like little Easter eggs and stuff like that, but it's just it has to make sense.
Yeah. No, I get you. Yeah, but I
wanted
to say that because I feel like every Alien movie is the same where, you know, you get introduced to the alien, you have to learn all the characteristics of it, and then one by one, everyone gets killed off. That's the same thing with all the movies I've seen, of the three that I've seen. And I just wish there was something new where, like you've said before, with the Peter Parker, with Spider-Man, we don't need to hear his origin story every time. So I don't want to hear the alien origin story every time.
Well, and something else, too, is like, every Alien movie except for I think one, excuse me, they always end the same way. It's like
they get sucked out.
They get sucked out into space.
Yeah.
And then you think, oh, they're safe, and then you have this kind of third act where it's like, oh my gosh, and then they just jettison the alien out of the airlock. Which, like I was saying, in the Alien Resurrection, like in the third movie you haven't seen it, but like Ripley dies in it, and so does like Hicks and Newt. I mean, that's why one of the reasons I hate it. It's just like they die in cryo sleep on the way there. Ripley does.
Spoiler, Phil.
Yeah. she gets like.
But did they live a long life together, or
no? I mean, it was like
they
2
killed
weeks later.
They got killed after aliens, basically.
Yeah, so it's like, what was the point? They were better off just dying on the planet. Ripley survived till the end of the movie and then died because she had an alien queen inside her. Like I said, the movie's stupid. In the fourth movie, it's like 200 years in the future, and they clone her to get the alien queen, like the company. So Ripley's like has alien DNA. So she's kind of like this weird Ripley. But at the end,
is she good at all?
Yeah, kind of. She's like an anti-hero in it.
Okay.
But at the end of the movie, there's an alien queen, and the alien queen kind of got like some of the human DNA. So the alien queen gives birth to, it's like this big monstrous, like half alien, half human thing. And then it gets sucked out the airlock. Kind of like this movie.
This one. So I thought this was a wow new thing, but it really isn't.
Not really. If you've watched the other ones, no, it hasn't. And that, to me, it's just like, that's not groundbreaking or amazing to me. And they made it look like one of the engineers. It's not even that interesting because in Prometheus, they have like these engineers that are kind of like the giant that was sitting in the derelict spaceship. You see they come across, it has a hole in its chest.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
And they kind of look like the thing at the end. I mean...
So the thing at the end freaked me out, and I didn't like it at all. And the birth scene, no thank you. Do the other aliens have, like, the other alien movies have, like, a birth scene like that?
Yeah. I mean, that's the only one was the Resurrection, and it wasn't... It was like... You had the queen alien in her egg sac, and it kind of came out of the egg sac.
Yeah, okay, so, like, for me, this is just a personal thing. And people can make movies however they want. That's what art is. And that, like, it's the same thing as anything. Song, music, artwork, anything. But, like, when you take a birth scene like that and make it that graphic and weird, and I just don't like it. It's the same thing with the movie Poor Things. The reason why I didn't like Poor Things, I don't know if you've seen it, Phil.
I haven't seen that.
They do something weird Frankenstein-y with a baby being born. And I just don't like it. To each their own. it's not going to entertain me and I'm not going to be a fan of it. So at the end of this, I just did not like that at all. Like, I was cringing the whole time.
Well, and that's, you know, they were kind of pushing that, saying, oh, this is going to be so groundbreaking. It's like the last third's just like, you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. And it's like so scary. And it's just like you copied and pasted the ending to Resurrection. It's not groundbreaking or.
Yeah.
It's just
and copied and pasted the end of every Aliens where it gets sucked out. The only difference is she's tethered, and she did the same thing. She gets into an astronaut suit.
Yeah. So I mean, did I like the movie? Yes. Was I disappointed? Yes. Kind of like I was with The Force Awakens, because it was like you're just retelling the same story
with different characters.
With different characters. I just thought it would have been better served if they would have spent some more time on the space station and took their time with the
which video game was
the
that?
Alien, because they had the that one alien, but then they started having a bunch of others, and it's just like they had more face hook. They had more face hook, which was cool. I mean, I like to see them jump around, and I mean, you've never really seen that many in one place.
When they run around the corner and the herd of them is running after them. Yeah. I put my feet up on the armrest in front of me because I was afraid they were going to be crawling on the floor. And I did jump a few times. Like, I tried to sit in the theater so no one was behind me because I knew I would have scaredy reactions. But people sat behind me and they saw me jumping and freaking out and putting my hands in front of my face. So.
Well, I felt even like with, they're like, oh, they see by like heat vision, so if we're going to warm up.
Yeah, did you know that?
I mean, no, they've never really said that, but to me it's just like, okay, now you're copying Predator.
Yes.
Because Predator kind of has the heat vision, and they're like, oh, don't get excited, or raise your temperature, and
but could Predator see the alien when it was hunting it?
I think so.
Well, I guess no,
but Arnold, he covered himself in the first Predator. He covered himself with mud. So
right, but I guess the better question is, could the alien see the Predator? So that wouldn't have mattered. Never mind.
Because they've never really, where the alien doesn't have eyes. They've never really said, well, how it. You just assume it has some kind of
sensory thing.
Sensory.
Yeah.
But just like they had the temperature set to 98.6, which is
what if you have a fever, or what if you have?
But not everybody. I mean, that's like
right.
That some people's baseline is like might be a little bit higher or lower. So why not just crank it up to like 101? And I mean, do they see if you're like less than that? Is it you stick out like a sore thumb?
Is there a grace period or a
Yeah. Not everybody's going to be exactly 98.6. So.
I know. It was kind of stretching a lot of stuff. But hey.
And then someone's calling you and you answer your phone. It's like, what?
Yeah. Why did he do that? And then he got goosebumps and he was sweating. You dum-dum. Everyone makes terrible decisions in this franchise.
Yeah. But no, I did, like I said, I did enjoy it. And I want to see it again to kind of maybe answer some of those questions I might have missed.
I will say the best, now that you brought it up, the best part of that movie was the anti-gravity thing with the gooey blood, acidic blood stuff. So
acidic, yeah. I mean, that was pretty interesting. And
but you got it. They had to have hit some of it while they were flying past. You're not telling me they didn't get a little drop of it on them?
Yeah. Oh, and that was interesting too. The one guy that got taken out with the acid, because you've seen people get burned by acid, but not really.
Oh yeah, the cousin. He was annoying.
Yeah. Which, like you were saying, it's like with the first movie, everybody was a separate character. A lot of times I had trouble differentiating those two characters because they were so alike. The cousins, the two boys.
Oh, I didn't. One was short and one was tall, and one had short hair and one had long hair.
Yeah, but when it was kind of like some of the rooms though, like it was all red, and it's like, okay, like when they're locked in there together now. Yeah. One guy, obviously, because he had that real Cockney accent, he was like, "Something in the water, something in the water,
get out of the water."
But when they're moving fast and stuff, sometimes it was hard to tell like who's who. And was he the father of that one girl's
No.
I thought they were related,
No,
but then they were like...
can't be, because first of all, she said the father was back on the planet, I think.
Well,
and he was someone that they didn't
just
really
say he was a
know.
real jerk. It's like, well, that guy's a real jerk.
Yeah,
That could be the
no,
dad.
but that was her cousin.
Okay.
Because she's... He's just the tall boy and pregnant girl are brother and sister. And then short, longer hair guy is their cousin.
Well, but I mean, okay, but there is pretty was 2,000 people on that planet, so I mean maybe they
that's true
a shallow pool, but I mean you wouldn't think so, but
shallow pool.
I mean there's not, it might be far enough distantly related on that planet because there's not that many people, but it kind of threw me because that's what I thought. I thought, well, they're related. That it's not. But then I'm like, did I mishear that? Or because they kind of act like, of course, it could just be because they're cousins. He's protecting her. I thought, well, maybe he was the.
Yeah, no, I don't think that was dad because the way she said it was the dad. He wasn't on the ship with them. The way she worded it.
But why wasn't he?
Because he was a jerk. Because he was a jerk.
Yeah, but it's baby daddy. They're going 9 years away. You don't think they would bring him along?
No, maybe she didn't want to. Maybe it was just a jerk and it was a one night thing and adios. I don't know. Okay. The other thing, what was I lost my train of thought. But that's like the thing is they throw in that little detail, but there's too many questions of, and now we'll never know because they're all dead unless we do a prequel to this one. But anyway, my ears are hurting. Would you like to play a game real quick? We'll do it very quickly.
I will make one other comment, though.
Yeah, I'll set up the game while you do that.
Okay. I would like to kind of know what the time frame on the whole... while they were on the space station, because... in a way, they kind of make it like it was not too distant past that it happened. But then they show like the original alien up there, and it looks like he's been rotting away. So
yeah,
had he been, had that space station been in a state of decay for a while?
Yeah, it didn't give us a timeline of that space station.
Yeah,
I didn't
and
like.
Then they did
there's
show,
too many
they were
questions.
looking for the Nostromo, and that was kind of cool. You saw a panel, but really the Nostromo got caught in like a couple nuclear blasts. I don't think there would have been really a lot left of it, like a panel.
Right, just dust particles, probably. I
always kind of wondered, like, how would they track down the alien? Because he was cocooned up, he just looked like an asteroid, and in space, I mean, that would be just like a tiny speck without some kind of. Unless maybe the harpoon had like some kind of tracking device in it or something.
Or maybe they just took DNA. I don't know.
But that just goes to show though, the company.
So wait, are you telling me that alien in the asteroid was the original one from the first?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It cocooned itself up in an asteroid. Because they were remember that I mean and they even showed the side of the thing. It's in Nostromo, like when they were out looking for it. And he was saying, he said, this alien took out our 7 crewmen and 1 survived. So they've always known Ripley was out there. Like in Aliens, when they're like, oh, well, we don't really believe your story and this and that. I mean,
they should have.
Yeah, so they knew everything. I mean, they knew that they should have known that there was aliens on LV-426.
427 is it 426 or 427?
426.
Oh, I thought it was 421. I'm not good with numbers.
Yeah.
All right, Phil.
Now it's Special Order 937. Maybe you're getting mixed up.
What was that one?
That was the science officer directive, like where it was supposed to like all of their lives are expendable.
Yeah, just save the specimen. Dum-dums. All right, we are playing a game called Weavering Together. Get it? Sigourney Weaver.
Ah.
We're weavering it together. So I'm going to give you a line from one of her movies. You tell me what the movie is.
Is this all alien movies?
No, none of them are alien. But if you want to go ahead and start us off with your favorite alien line that she says.
that she says.
Mm-hmm. Because these are all Sigourney lines from movies.
All my favorite ones are like Bill Paxton.
Okay, dude.
Game over, man. Game over.
Man. Game over.
Won't you put her in charge?
His accent was
Well,
so...
that's just great. Yeah.
It was so cartoonish. All right, let's go with the first one. You ready?
Yeah.
Drum roll. Let me go ahead and read it so that everyone can hear it on the podcast. This voice said Zool.
Ghostbusters.
And then I slammed the refrigerator door and I left. That was 2 days ago and I haven't been back to my apartment.
Ghostbusters.
Oh, would you like to get an extra point for naming the character? Or no?
Dana Barrett.
Good job. You got that. It was already on the screen. We'll give you that point. All right. Next one. Why 13 seconds? That's really not enough time to do anything of any importance.
I'm trying to think all the Sigourney Weaver movies. Most of them I know are Alien.
I'll give you a clue. I believe this is...
Wait. Hold on.
I was going to say the year.
I know. Galaxy Quest.
Did you know her character's name?
I probably not her last. I would have known her first, probably.
Okay. All right, next one. This is my special nail polish. I make it myself. You want to know my secret ingredient? Rattlesnake venom. I just love the way it does to the coloring. It's perfectly harmless when it's dry.
Oh.
Your video game in the back just went, whoa.
Yeah. Shoot. Let me think. Sigourney Weaver movies. Was she in like The Huntsman? Like
No. You're thinking of Snow White and the Huntsman?
Yeah.
No.
Or one of those. Working Girl. I don't know. I can't remember. It's not like Girls Nest.
Game over, man. Game over.
No, it is Holes.
I don't think I've ever seen Holes.
Mrs. Lemon read that to us in 8th grade, and it was my favorite book. I reread it myself and then watched the movie a gajillion times. Okay, here's the next one.
See, I would have never got that because...
That's more connections than the human brain. You get it? It's a network, a global network. And the Na'vi can access it. They can upload and download data, memories at sites like the one you just destroyed.
Avatar.
Yay.
The Na'vi.
James Cameron again.
Yeah.
There you go.
Like, actually, here's a little piece of trivia. The only person that's ever been killed by an alien, a Terminator, and a Predator.
Who?
Bill Paxton.
An alien? A what?
Yeah. A Terminator. He was in the first Terminator movie.
Okay, yeah. And what?
Predator. He was in Predator 2.
That dude doesn't do well in sci-fi movies.
No. No, but he's in a lot of... what's funny is, like, James Cameron uses a lot of the same actors over. So, like, you look at Terminator, it was... Hudson and Hicks were both in it. Like,
oh, yeah.
And actually, in Aliens, Hicks was... James Remar was originally cast as Hicks. And he got canned. And there's, I think, one scene where you can see the back of James Remar. They didn't refilm it.
Well, I always get Hicks and Hudson mixed up.
Yeah.
Get it?
I'm Hicks, or I'm Hudson. He's Hicks.
It's like the Parent Trap. Okay,
Yeah.
Next one. My husband, Michael, left for the supermarket at 9:15 in the morning. He was found with no money and no clothes in the East River 3 days later. This one's difficult because it's actually a movie I've never seen, but I've wanted to see.
I may not have seen it.
I believe it's like a scary horror thriller, suspenseful.
I give up on that one.
The Village.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
M. Night Shalamalama Ding Dong. I can't say his last name.
Is she holding up a Pop-Tart?
Yep. I don't think that's a Pop-Tart you want.
Yeah, no, I've seen it. That's a pretty decent movie.
Oh, okay. Is it scary?
Ish. I mean, not when you see the twist at the end. after.
Hell, man, is
kinda,
it they're in a village, but actually there's the outside world? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's almost like they're Amish.
Yes.
Like they're in this village, and there's these like monsters that if you go past the boundaries or if you do this.
Yes.
And they just have these. It's just a gimmick to keep them in there.
It's like sound machines.
They have to
and
do
stuff,
something.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but they have to go into the outside world. So they send this like blind girl.
Yeah.
And it turns out it's like there's planes and stuff, and I mean,
I've seen it.
It's
been a while.
She can't see it.
Yeah.
But that whole place is a no-fly zone or everything. So it's almost like kind of like Amish to the nth degree. It's like, so I mean that's kind of, especially in this area, we got a lot of.
It's Amish without.
So it was kind of
it's Amish without a choice, is what it was.
Yeah, so they're keeping everybody in the dark.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of interesting. I know everybody was, because they were expecting this big scary monster movie, and it just at the end was just kind of.
It's the opposite.
Well, it's not really monsters.
And actually, the real monsters were the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keeping everybody in line with. They just want a simple life, and.
Yeah. But how do they know they want that?
Yeah.
Some of them didn't have a choice.
Well, that's because stuff like that happened where her husband, got killed. Like this core group of people, bad stuff had happened to their family just because of modern times, and so they got together and said, "Hey, let's do this thing.
Let's all just stay at home, basically.
Yeah.
Work from home." All right, next one. The president wanted some ice cream.
I don't know.
I'll give you a clue. It's it's just one word and it's a name.
Dave. Okay.
Good job. That's a good movie. I like it.
Does that have who's the gentleman in that? Is that is it Kevin Kline?
That's
Kevin
who it
Kline?
is. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Wild Wild West.
Wicka Wicka Wild West.
I heard a song on the radio at work today that was the original melody to that, but it's not Wild Wild West.
Oh yeah, no, it's
what's it copied from? Forget Me Nots.
Forget Me Nots
by Patricia Russian.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. I believe this is the last one, Phil. Here we go. You've seen horrible things, an army of nightmare creatures, but they are nothing compared to what came before, what lies below. It's our task to placate the ancient ones. Sorry. And it's yours to be offered up to them. Forgive us and let us get it over with.
Oh, I know. That's Cabin in the Woods.
Very good.
Have you ever seen that movie?
No, you know why? Because it's scary.
It's got Thor in it.
It's got Chris Hemsworth. And does it have Reese Witherspoon? Or am I mistaken?
I don't know. But that was a good movie. It had a good twist ending. It's like, oh.
Is it like
surprise,
The Village?
Surprise. No.
Oh, it isn't? So it actually is scary.
Yeah, I'd kind of recommend that movie.
All right, Phil. Well, I'm glad that I watched it. I thought it was going to be scarier than what I thought because that's why I never watched it before. But I was glad I watched it.
It was suspenseful.
Yes. Yeah.
The alien with jazz hands. Like when Dallas was down there, he turned around.
Wait, Dallas. Dallas is the captain, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Captain Dallas. Yeah.
From Steel Magnolias.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen that, but yeah.
You've never, Phil. You should do a Mother's Day episode with Steel Magnolias.
Maybe.
Hey, I watched Alien for you. I watched Aliens for you. And I watched Alien Romulus for you.
We need to watch Beetlejuice.
Hey, did that come out? That
No,
hasn't
it
come
comes
out yet.
So that comes out next month.
Okay, well that'll be our next one. That'll be one of the next.
I can't think of like any
any
any huge movies that are coming out besides Beetlejuice that are like
Philip, Wicked, and Gladiator 2. Now,
did you see the trailer to Gladiator 2?
Yes, and I am biased. I will fully say I'm biased because of Paul Mescal, but I'm biased also because I loved Gladiator. So whether he was in it or not, I was going to be super pumped for it.
I I like Gladiator. But I don't think every movie needs a sequel.
I don't either. But this one,
I think they could have sold it better if they, you have this big period piece and then you put a hip hop song in it, the trailer. A modern.
Which
song.
hip hop song are you? Which trailer did you watch?
Yeah, the one that has a hip hop song in it halfway through.
let me watch.
You bring up that trailer and you watch it. You tell me it.
I will happily watch this trailer again for you, Phil.
Isn't that Jay-Z song in it?
Oh, hold on. Did you hear that?
And then in this Denzel one, it's just like I love Denzel, but it's like
I remember that day. I never forgot it.
Yeah, they had the first one had this big sweeping period music, and
where were you born?
I don't hear any hip hop music, Phil.
I never knew a mother nor a father.
You will be my instrument.
Who are you?
Did you hear that crowd? The greatest temple Rome ever built. The Colosseum. Because this is what they believe in. Power.
No hip hop music yet.
There are victories yet still to come.
Rome has so many subjects. She must feed them.
They can eat war.
The arena turns slaves into gladiators, the gladiators into free men.
You have something in you. I knew it from the start.
Did you now?
Rage. That rage is your gift.
This is about survival! Survive! Hold together, and when it charges, break for the wall.
LeBron James.
Whose head could I give you that would satisfy this fury?
The entire Roman armies.
Too much.
The general will do.
Rome must
General
fall.
will do.
I need to only give it a push.
So no hip hop music.
Oh, there, I hear it now. I guess I got distracted. I got distracted by the Colosseum.
This ring.
I mean, I'm okay with it.
Now I give it to you. What is the dream of Rome?
Okay, so I heard it. That's a good place to pause it. Okay, but here's the thing. You haven't seen Paul act. Have you? Oh wait, you saw Foe. Well, you saw Foe and you didn't like it.
What's Foe?
The Foe, the movie where he's a robot, he's a clone, and he was living with his wife on the farm, and you didn't like it. You didn't like it. Yeah, I know. That's a bad example. I mean, I liked it, but you haven't seen anything else he's been in. I think he's a great actor.
Well, I think Denzel's a great actor.
No,
but
I'm excited about Denzel, and then there's the new generation of acting, and I know Denzel is going to be a great part of the movie.
But I don't know. Like I said, because it's almost like Denzel, and I don't know because I haven't seen it. I love me some Denzel. He's one of my favorite actors, but it's almost like he's just like I said, playing Training Day. It's just like it's like. Just
you think it's the same thing over and over?
Which might not. I mean, huh?
You think it's the same thing over and over?
It's almost like he's out of place in that movie.
Well, but we don't know. We don't know anything about his character, so maybe he's meant to seem out of place. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
like I said, I'll reserve my judgment. I just finished watching The Equalizer 3. I love Denzel.
Yeah.
But it's just like sometimes you'll get an actor that gets in a role and it's just like, I'm getting a paycheck. I'm gonna phone it in. I'm not saying that's the case, but he seemed like out of water in that.
I think that the fact that we have Denzel, Pedro, and Paul in it, and what's his name from Stranger Things?
Eddie.
Yeah, we got Eddie, the rocker from the Upside Down. We've got him in it, and he's a cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, it seems like. So yeah. I think it's. I am a little worried that it's going to be a remake and people aren't going to be amazed by it, and it's going to just be visually stunning and the story's not going to have substance. But I'm holding my breath and hoping and praying because I love Gladiator so much. I've got a high bar. I will be happy to admit if I'm unimpressed with it.
Well, I'll go see it.
But I'm excited.
We can go see it, and like I said, I love the first Gladiator, but I don't know if necessarily a warrant or a sequel is warranted. But we'll see.
Well,
I mean, it may be the best thing since
sliced bread.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so like you're going to see Alien again. I won't be. I will probably see Gladiator 2 twice. Okay.
Did you see which is Ridley Scott, 6 Degrees of Separation? He directed Alien, but I don't know, like it seems like Ridley Scott is lauded as this great director, and he's done a lot of good movies, but it seems like his more current ones are kind of more hit or miss. Did you see Napoleon?
No, I'm not a big Joaquin fan.
Yeah.
Ever since Joker and that kind of stuff, I'm just I'm kind of like.
Well, that's another movie everybody's excited, but like I thought the first Joker was kind of mediocre, and I don't really want to see a sequel, especially not a musical. To me, I'm not, like I said, I'm probably on the outside on that. Most people probably, agreed, a Joker sequel, but I didn't enjoy the first one enough to see a sequel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at that. That one's having a sequel, and it was just made. We've waited 24 years for Gladiator. I'm okay with a sequel 24 years later.
But I'm wondering, like, how historically accurate some of that is. Like they're filling the stadium
water
up and putting sharks in it.
I know.
Some sharks. We're gonna catch a shark. Put him in there, and he can breathe, and then
I know.
In there,
I have a feeling what that is it brings it up from the bottom, but I don't know. We're gonna see. I doubt that the Coliseum did that. Here, let's Google it right now.
There's sharks in the Coliseum.
The Coliseum have water. People have already Googled it. It was on the list. Yes, it had water in a few ways.
But did it have sharks?
During the I mean, they could have brought one in. During the Colosseum's opening ceremony, Emperor Titus ordered the arena to be flooded for naval battles. The Romans used flat-bottomed ships and an artificial island in the middle of the arena to replicate a battle between Athens and Syracuse. They may have also released sharks and other sea creatures to make the battles more exciting and realistic.
Well, see, I have to eat crow here.
According to civil engineer Martin Crapper, that's his real name, the arena's 4,241 cubic meter volume could have been filled in 2 to 5 hours, but it may have seemed faster over the course of a full day.
Now Google to see if they had hip hop back then.
They had music. Maybe the trailer probably has.
Was it Hans Zimmer that did the music for the first one?
Hans Zimmer? Yeah, and he's doing it for this one. James Horner did Alien. I focused on that.
Yeah.
Soundtrack. I'm sorry. What's it called? Score.
James Horner did Aliens. I think Jerry Goldsmith maybe did Alien, which James Cameron and him had a big falling out because he was pressuring him to get the music done real quick because they were behind schedule, and they had a falling out. And I don't think they worked again until like Titanic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hans Zimmer. Yeah, Hans Zimmer's the main one.
Yeah.
Who did this one? Who's doing Gladiator 2? Jay-Z. Harry Gregson Williams.
I can't believe, because like when that trailer first came out, it was on the internet. It was just getting trashed because of they're like, you give me a break. It's got it's a serious historical movie, and then you sell it by
Phil,
like not non-period music.
Everybody's
agree. Like, we need that epic sweeping Hans Zimmer soundtrack.
I agree with that, but we're trying to get these Gen Zers to be interested in history, so we got to put Jay-Z in there. Gen Z, Jay-Z. You gotta combine.
I don't even know if that's. I don't
think it's
Jay-Z who
Jay-Z.
does that song, but
Here, this is why we have Google. What song is in Gladiator 2 trailer? No Church in the Wild. Jay-Z and Kanye West. And Phil's gone again. We were so close. He'll never know. While depicting its ancient Roman setting, the Gladiator 2 trailer uses Jay-Z and Kanye West's rap song No Church in the Wild. We don't support Kanye West, but among other elements, the song proved to be a questionable choice for many who viewed the trailer like Phil. I don't know where Phil went. I might have to close out this episode on my own. Yeah, guys, we lost Phil. So I'm just going to be saying bye to you guys for the end of the episode. It was Jay-Z. I'm letting Phil know it was Jay-Z. He's typing, and it's all laughs. It's just laugh crying. Okay, so thank you guys for joining us for Muggle with a Mic. We'll be having some episodes coming up soon. Don't forget, we're also going to be at the Rio Renaissance Fair. Coming up here at the end of September. So stay tuned for that. We're also going to have, I believe we might have had it earlier. I might have it at the beginning of the segment, but I'm going to be interviewing Caitlin Halley with the Rio Ren Fair. So hopefully we get some interesting news from them. Phil just sent me something. Let's see. And I don't know what to say. Podcast listeners, you couldn't see the GIF. But he's sending in his interesting GIF. Okay, anyway, thank you guys. Stay tuned for more episodes of Muggle with a Mic. Katie out.
Game over,